Hi everyone, so in the last video I spoke about my everyday carry items which have some emergency tools and my slightly less everyday carry but something I might still take like a multi-tool and a knife if needed, and then my little compact travel emergency kit which is more for, if I'm doing sport or if I'm going somewhere where it has to be featherweight, 230 grams and still has some really important items in there. And then if I'm taking this bigger kit, like if I'm going camping, then I'm also taking this kit. So in this video I'll do a really quick little look inside here, but I won't go into detail since that's a separate video about what's in here. Now I live in a country where there's not really any natural disasters or anything like that, so this is not really a survival kit but more of an emergency kit which is it has some really important items in there, and this is mostly something I just take for camping if I'm going out to the woods with friends to have some drinks or whatever, which is normally just overnight. We're not going in a car, so we need to be really compact, and so it would be this plus a backpack which also has food and stuff like that. But this is sort of an all-in-one emergency kit that I know everything I might need in an emergency is in here, at least as far as I can foresee. And there's some things in here that are, you'll find in other emergency kits in other videos, which are not here. Like, there's no fishing kit in here. I don't plan to ever go fishing. So like I said, if I'm taking this, then I'm also taking this, and I'm also taking things like a multi-tool, and I've got a phone, I've got a wallet, I've got a little torch, these things, always on me. And then I've got, a little knife and stuff, and then possibly a big knife if I'm going somewhere where there's not, people who would be scared by it. Now I made a separate video about the case which I think is really awesome. It's a £5.50 on Amazon and really nice, just keeps all the things I need in here, really organized, and I think it looks great as well. So I just keep this on the shelf because it looks awesome, I think. So let's take a look inside. And you'll notice there's no food in here because I would be taking that separately in a backpack. Now let's look at the boring stuff first and then get to the interesting stuff. So the first aid kit, which is a case from the pound store, which came with a few little things that I just threw away. I've got some gauze, I've got loads of cleaning pads. So I've got ones here without alcohol, 2 of them. And then I've got loads of plasters in various sizes, ones you can cut up, ones that, just individually wrapped. And then some water filtration tablets, some more plasters, and filters for the water purifier, which I'll show you in a second. And then more plasters, more plasters, more plasters. And this is actually my first aid kit that I use every day if I need to if I need to get a plaster, this is where I go. So that's why there's lots of plasters in here, because if needed, I like to have lots of them around. And it's probably a bit too much, but I like to have lots of them. So loads of plasters. Should probably get rid of some of those. Then more water purification tablets and more plasters, some gloves, quite a lot of them because I find that quite important, and then lots of these pre-injection swabs which are just alcohol wipes that you can use to clean your hands. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use these for actually cleaning wounds. There is actually ones here for wounds which don't have alcohol in them, but this one is for cleaning tools, for cleaning hands with alcohol. Then it's just really instant cleaning. And they're really cheap as well. I bought a pack of 100 for about £2, so I don't need to worry about wasting them. So if I just want to clean my hands, I don't need to think twice about it. And they are really tiny, but I find that fine. That's much better than nothing. And next up is the SAS Survival Guide. It's an older version, but most of the stuff is still relevant. And really interesting read and good conversation starter, and something for boredom, and obviously in an emergency situation, having this kind of information is great. And so I like to have that there. Nice little thing. Over here, as soon as I open the kit, I've got a little torch right there. So if I need to look inside the kit and find stuff or something else, then I've got a little extra torch. And I do also have a white torch in my pocket, the little tiny one from Nightcall. But this one is for, just an extra one, and it's red because as far as I read, that's better for, using at night and not ruining your night vision. So then you don't need to wait for a while until your night vision comes back. So then in this compartment, the boring stuff, we've got napkins, we've got a big bunch of toilet paper, we've got more cleaning wipes, because just to keep things clean, why not? Then we've got an emergency blanket, nice quality one with gold on one side, silver on the other side. And this is a 160 by 210, so quite a large one, but doesn't add much weight, really nice. And then here I've got some cleansing wipes for hands and face and butt and whatever. And then a little bit more tinfoil, obviously, for starting fires, cooking on, having a clean surface to prepare food or whatever. Just a really great emergency item. And I've got a little in there as well, but this is a nice larger piece. And then some more gloves in case I need to whatever. I like to have gloves around. It's kind of useful. This is probably a bit too much, but whatever. A great example for these is if you need to wipe your butt and you don't have a place to wash your hands, then I think this is a nice addition. For me, this is important. It's a bit of coffee and it's pre-mixed with stevia, so I like to have that there in an emergency. If I need to wake up, then I think that's important. Big bag for, if I need to carry water or whatever, it's good to have that. Q-tips, a bit of a luxury item, but doesn't add any weight, so why not? And then a little portable toothbrush and toothpaste kit. And then back here, I've got a map of my local area. I've got some candles, which are good for starting fires or waterproofing materials like shoes, or getting some warmth or whatever. Very useful. Then backup knife. So I do carry some other tools, but this thing has a knife and it's got a really good saw. If I find it somewhere here, there it is. It's got a really, really nice saw. So if I need to do a little bit of woodwork, that's a good addition. And then it has some other tools, but mostly it's those two items that I need from that. And then some fat wood, which is good for starting fires, but I do have a lighter in there, just, much quicker. And then over here, a knife sharpener. I'd like to find a slightly smaller one, but for now, this is what I have, and I got it cheap, and it works fine. Gets my knife sharp really quickly, and it's not as tiny as I'd like, but it's pretty lightweight, so it's fine. Something I would like to improve in this kit is I don't want to have to carry a torch that needs batteries. If I actually want to use the torch quite often, I don't want to have to worry about batteries, and I don't want to be lugging around extra batteries because they do add up quite a lot of weight. So this thing is running on AAA's, which I use rechargeables, but once again, I don't want to have to carry more than I need to. So what I'd like to find is a torch that's a crank-powered torch that can fit in this case, because this one, can easily fit, this one cannot. So this is something I'd like to improve. So then backup fire starting options. So fire steel, like I said, I've got a lighter in there, but that's a backup. This is the Bole Cobra, which comes in loads of different configurations and different lenses and that kind of thing. And so this is my backup one, which has a scratch on it. So I keep it in there, but I do have a good fresh one, which is in here. Then we've got cut-proof gloves. They're about 25 pounds, and you can get cheap ones, but these are, slightly nicer cut-proof gloves. And basically they've got this material inside that I don't know what it is, but prevents you from cutting into the glove, or helps to prevent. I mean, they're good just as gloves, as work gloves, but also because if I'm doing some work with a knife that isn't locking and I want to do some harder work with it without having to worry too much about cutting my hands, then this is a very nice option. But potentially with my non-locking knife, what I might want to do is drill a hole into it so that it becomes a sometimes locking knife, meaning that while it's in my pocket, it's non-locking, and then I can put a little screw in there when needed that makes it a locking knife. So, I mean, that'll take some work in figuring out exactly how to do that properly. And then obviously a water filter, really important. And so this one is from Renova, about 20 or 30 pounds. And I loved that this one can either be used as a straw on its own. So you just remove that, stick it in some water and then drink. Or you can connect a bottle to this. So this screws onto a bottle, and then you've got a bottle that you can carry with you and drink on the go. And I thought that was great. And then these are the replaceable pre-filters for this water filter. So you get even more use out of this because you can swap out the front filter. So I really like that. And there's also a big plastic bag, which is very useful, for example, for collecting leaves to make a pillow or a shelter or whatever. Useful thing to have, but I'd say go for a clear one because these black ones smell a bit. And then here, a really good amount of paracord, which I can use on its own or take the individual strands from it if I need a lot more of it. So, for building a big shelter or something. Then really great to have, obviously. And this is a cheap one, but a good quality one. Some of the cheap ones are really crap. Some of the cheap ones are fine. And so I went for a really brightly colored one. I've got some other colors, but this, I don't know, whatever, I don't really care. So I think this kit has an incredible amount of super useful stuff considering the weight. It's 1.7 kilograms, so it's not featherweight, but it's actually enough that I could carry it on my belt if needed, even though most of the time I wouldn't. And this case does have a belt loop. So I showed this in the last video, but just a really quick overview, and this is basically part of this kit, but it's on my belt as a really featherweight emergency kit. So this has a windproof lighter, and a signaling device, so a really powerful green laser that's split in two, so that's one part of it and that's the other part. And then there's a little bit of paracord and some earplugs for sleeping and some gloves rolled up in there. And then in here, there's a puncho or a poncho or a pancho. I know one of those words is correct. And then a little magnifying glass, a little bit of money, some plasters, some condoms, some foil, 2 pieces, and some water purification tablets and more of these hand cleaning stuff. And that's it. So like I said, this is the emergency kit, but that doesn't mean that it's all that I'm going to be taking. I'm going to have a backpack, which is going to have some things that I might need, but this is the emergency kit, and of course I will also have my everyday carry items. But in a third video, I'll show you guys some of the larger items that I might or might not take as needed that don't fit into a first aid emergency style kit, but that I would take with me in a backpack together with this if needed. So that's going to be in the next video. I'll have links to see that video down below. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this useful and interesting. I'll have links to the stuff I talked about down in the description below, and links to the previous video about this kit and my everyday carry items as well, which is in another video. And yeah, so I'll see you guys soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe to my 3 YouTube channels. My main channel is about filmmaking and photography. My second channel is called I Test Stuff, and it's about electronics, gadgets, toys, and kitchen items. And Nitsan's Manly Stuff is about tools, DIY projects, outdoors equipment, etc. You'll find links in the description below.